It is the mind that tells us how we should live. The mind telling us who we should like and who we should dislike. The mind forever dominating the things that we do, but the mind itself essentially unreliable. The mind is too much objectified by prejudice. In the mind, the intolerance of a lifetime is stored carefully. Unfortunate memories are kept on file. And everything that has conditioned us adversely is gradually changing our behavior and making us victims of our own mistakes. The mind is the slayer of the real. Therefore, in trying to solve our world problems, there is no use of piling one mental attitude on another. The solution is not in the world, but in the hearts of men. The solution is not in the grand reformations and revolutions that have led only to further bloodshed since the beginning of time. The answer lies in the gradual release of soul power, the power of the inner life over conduct. We have to have what Gandhi called the victory of soul power over brute power. We also have to have the victory of soul understanding and insight over the complex of varying intellectual policies and beliefs. So if we can get quiet, we can unload part of the burden that never was any good anyway. Get rid of memories that only haunt us. Now, you can't forget them by saying you should. The only way you can forget them is to outgrow them, to solve them, to take that unpleasant bitterness that you had 25 years ago and which you have never been able to solve. Sit down quietly with it and get over it. Get over it by proving beyond all question of doubt that it was an opportunity to grow, that there was something about it that you had to learn, and that the purpose of the experience was that you should transmute an incident into soul growth. And if you have done that, you have no longer any problem, and you can even be thankful for the person who has offended you, if it has helped you to grow. But if it does not help you to grow, it will embitter and canker you from that time on. And the mind will not get over this alone. We can sweep the mind's house out periodically, we can refurbish it, we can move it onto a better ground and all this type, but this is not the answer. It is the power of that which is above the mind, and to which the mind must give allegiance if that power is active. But if that power in ourselves is not active, if we do nothing about it, then the mind becomes the dictator, and as an audacious prime minister takes over control. Then we have trouble, and mostly people have allowed this to happen. The mind has become the basis of a character, of a policy, or of a way of life, or of a religion, or anything you wish to call it. But in the last analysis, the mind is a tyrant. It helps us to remain just as foolish as we were, or else helps us sometimes to multiply foolishness, to get worse than we were before. And in interpreting things, the mind always interprets in favor of our own attitude and opinion, and gladly sacrifices the rights of others to even think in order to protect our right to make our own mistakes, so that the mind is not reliable. But beyond and behind the mind is something that we may say is a life in itself. The mysteries of the Spirit are internal and eternal, and the only thing that we have to do on the outer world is be just a little more honorable in our conduct. And little by little, the things that we believe will become more important. We are here only a little while, and the only thing we can take with us is this marvelous and wondrous soul experience which we have accumulated through the years of insight and understanding. Therefore, if you can begin to shake off or get rid of the ballast of negative thinking, destructive attitudes, and corrupt allegiances, you will find gradually that the simple things of life will come through.